Good morning. This is Blabbing for Britain, episode 89, and behind the scenes, Blabbing for Britain team are working away to get things going. And the first thing I'm going to do is to share things out. So I'm just going to share the post on my timeline, and there we have it, shared on my timeline. So, yeah, I'm waiting for Peter, Stephen, John, everybody else is around. Blabbing for Britain, episode 89 is about to start. Take your seats, grab a coffee, and we'll see what we can talk about this morning as we blab for Britain. And if you've missed us, we've missed you too. And it is good to be back. I'm just doing a few more shares as well. Share, and we'll share this out into a group. I'm still alone, so I'll take that down. And this is me. And good morning, everybody. And as I say, I'm just waiting for Stephen and John to arrive. I'm going to post a link in Messenger. So that's that done. Right, I'm just trying to see if there's anything different in the setup here at the moment on BeLive.tv as we come live to you on Thursday morning at 10 a.m. So, what's been happening? Been away for just over 2 weeks, and it'd be good to get the team together and catch up on the news and find out what's happening in the UK. If you are watching us live now, good morning, Claire. It's nice to see you. And also, who else? Well, nobody else at the moment. So good morning, Claire. If you want to come on screen, Claire, then I'll just get the link to join us. I'll copy that to the clipboard and you can join us, hopefully. Live. Okay, I can hear myself. Okay. And it's still just me. So, Blabbing for Britain, episode 89 is just me. And hello to everybody who's watching. It is good to be back and managed to get away. I haven't done a show since the 10th of August. That's 3 weeks ago. My last BeLive show was 3 weeks ago. And incredibly, during the time that we were away, for a period of about 9 days, we had no internet whatsoever. And morning, Marky. Nice to see you here, and good to see you watching. Hoping to catch up soon. And I can see that Mr. Upton is readying himself to come to the broadcast. And when he gives me the thumbs up, as I'm sure he will in a second, he's going to give me. He's going to. Is he? Well, he, and we'll say 3, 2, 1. Good morning, John. I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Well, you can hear me, obviously. I can't hear you. If you can hear John, this is obviously, we're going to get off to a good start. If you can hear John, can you just say something? Can you just say that you can hear John, please, in the comments? Right, okay. And the first question from Claire. And yes, I thoroughly enjoyed the break, Claire. My Fitbit, well, our Fitbits went with us, and we were doing. Thank you, Marky. I don't have any volume. Can't hear you, John. Morning, Remat. Nice to see you as well. And it's good to be back, and it's good that you're all watching us. John, can you refresh and come back? I'm waiting for something to come up in the chat. Yeah, so John's refreshing, will come back. I know Stephen's around somewhere. This is Blabbing for Britain, episode 89, and hopefully in a few seconds, this is live. Hello, John.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you, Solihull. Yes, right. Okay, you have sound this time.
Wiltshire. Come here, Wiltshire.
Yeah, definitely Wiltshire this morning. And I know that Stephen's around, and hopefully he can join us as well. Just let me close this down. I've got to get used to the controls. Hello. And the team are back. 3, 2, 1.
Hello, everybody. Happy end of summer.
End of summer. I'm hoping we get some sun in August as well.
It looks absolutely glorious outside here.
It's the same here as well. So let's hope we get an Indian summer. That would be good. That would be good.
I agree, because it's been rubbish so far up here. About you, John, has it been rubbish there?
On Tuesday night, it rained so hard it's ruined virtually all of my dahlias, and tonight is set up for tomorrow and Saturday's show, so it doesn't look like I'll have anything to take, but never mind. It ain't just me, it's loads of people. The real pros, they put covers over the top, polythene covers over the top to stop the rain. Well, they're not pros, but you know what I mean. The real deal. Those that grow 700 or 800 plants.
Right. Yeah.
To get 6 good blooms on a day.
I mean, that's a ratio, isn't it?
Well, no, they might get 6 good blooms in 6 different classes, so they're perhaps looking for 36 really good blooms, and some classes have 12 blooms in them, 4 sets of 3. So depends what you're going for. I mean, mine's just the little local Birmingham show, but next week is Harrogate and Wisley shows, so the Northern show and the national show.
Yeah. Do you travel to those, or have you in the past?
I have in the past, not for the last few years. And we're talking about going down to the Wisley one and doing an overnighter. So we can do Wisley and the Wisley show and the Wisley Gardens, and then queue on the way back the next day.
Right. Now,
I saw you with some strange-looking beasts in Germany. Long-haired, shaggy thing.
The donkeys.
Were they donkeys? All right.
Yeah, they were. I mean, they don't look like them, but they're in fact donkeys. That was the Tier Park, or the Animal Park, or the Zoo, whichever way you want to call it, which has been around for about 50, 60 years. And it does have a collection of animals in there. And you saw the zebras and the donkeys and a leopard that's been there quite a while, which won't be replaced when it leaves. But it's a brilliant day out for kids. You can go and you can feed the birds and be attacked by them, and it's just a grand place. Yeah. But that was a
zoo in Birmingham area, well, in the West Midlands. I haven't been there for probably 30 years, if not longer. I keep meaning to go and revisit it, but never find the time. That's all based around a ruined castle on the top of a hill. So, Mr. Stoke, what's up in Stoke?
Well, we're all, I say Stokies are sort of all looking forward for a few more weeks, I think, to get the City of Culture 2021 bid ready for submission. You may be aware that we were shortlisted, Stoke was shortlisted, along with some other places, and the bid is being written now, obviously, and it has to be sent in by about the end of September, I think. But then the big decision, the final decision, is made in Hull, where it currently is the City of Culture, in December. You might sort of wonder, well, why is it so important? Well, it's about regeneration. It's about investment in the local area. Yep. It's about business in the local area. And, us Stokies I'm still only an honorary one. I've only been here for 50 years.
Right.
We're sort of so proud of the local area, and anything we can do to get investment in, we'll go hell for leather. And we've got some brilliant culture and heritage and all sorts of stuff. So that's what's keeping me, at least, I'm watching. I'm doing a little bit of contributing, but just mostly watching and doing what we can. We've also got the license for TEDx Stoke 2018.
Well done, Stoke.
Yeah, well, yes, no, well, it wasn't. It's not a Stoke. It's not a. We didn't win anything. We reapplied for it. So okay. But it's a brilliant thing for the area, I think, and it keys in a little bit into the bid. But we got the team back together next to get cracking, and we've already got loads of people who want to do TED Talks at our event. We've still got thousands of people having watched last year's TED Talks at Stoke, and it's a brilliant thing. It really is. It just brings people together. I mean, we're all volunteers on it, and it's just fab fun. Anything else in Stoke? That must be. Oh well, we're not doing too badly in the league. Was it 4 points out of 3 games, which is like 5 times as much as we had in the first 10 games last year. Didn't start well for Sparky, as you call him, John.
Yeah, I see Shawcross has re-signed today as well.
Oh God, he's such an important part of the team, but he doesn't half mock things up from time to time. But we managed to draw against the arch enemy Poulis last weekend, and actually
they shook hands and pretended to be friends.
Hey,
I said they shook hands and pretended to be friends at the start.
Did you see when we beat Arsenal 1-0 in a fabulous victory the weekend before? And Wenger hardly touched Sparky's hand as he walked off the match. He was right pissed. Sorry, very, very upset.
I think your first description was the most accurate.
It was just great to watch. And also we've had the thing, I don't know if you'll be aware, we had a player called Arnie, Marko Arnautovic, and hello Maxima. Arnie was a petulant young footballer, and he sort of left because he said Stoke weren't ambitious enough, and he went to West Ham. The first match of the season, maybe the second, got sent off. So all the Stokey fans were saying, "Oh, that's a shame. Oh well." And another West Ham fan saying, "Oh Christ, what we bought here." Karma goes around and comes around, I think.
Yeah, well, they're in real trouble, aren't they? With nil points.
Yes, nothing at all to show for it. How's Burnley doing, Stephen?
I'm glad you asked that. Well, start of the season, we went to this place called Chelsea, and we whooped their ass.
You did, didn't you? Yeah,
we won at Chelsea. It was close at the end, but first half was all Burnley, 3-0, and then ended up 3-2. Then we had a visit from Roger's team, Roger Vanstone. West Brom came up to the Turf Moor, and we got beat 1-0, unluckily. And then we went to a place called Spurs, and we were 1-0 down within minutes. And our new £15 million signing came to the rescue in injury time, and we drew 1 apiece. So, like yourself, Stephen, we've got 4 points out of 9, and that's, as you said, that's just at this stage of the season. That's absolutely brilliant because that's 10% of the way there after 3 games.
Absolutely.
And what about the Terriers, Huddersfield? Everybody said straight back down. But
forgive me, I mean Huddersfield. I don't really know how are they doing.
How are they doing?
They're in the top 4, of course.
Blimey.
They led for the first 2 weeks, they led the Premier League table.
Well, that's because Burnley beat Chelsea, isn't it, really? That's the only reason that occurred.
I don't know. I can see a manager leaving Chelsea before Christmas.
Ooh.
I can see the money man running out of patience with him.
He hasn't been there for 5 minutes, has he?
Does that make any difference? Come on. What's his name? God, the Swiss bloke. Plays for Italy, but he's Swiss. Roberto Di Matteo, he won the European Cup and still got the sack 14 weeks later.
Okay.
So, quick, Stephen.
It's cricket, and I have to report that even in my absence, England are tied with the West Indies on one test match apiece, the decider to come. And I wish the lads well in that match, and we'll report on that next week as they go on to victory. Right, now to some serious business, because as you know, I've been abroad, and the question of the day, or the observation of the day, is exchange rates. And a story in the on BBC today that some airports are only giving 80.86 cents to the pound.
The European cents.
European cents, yeah. And we've gone from a situation where before we voted, or some of us voted to leave, it was €1.30, and it's now the official exchange rate is 1.08, and those making money out of it.
Yeah, the airline or airport exchange rate is for sure.
Yeah.
But it's always been, you never bowl up to an airport kiosk and buy from them.
Well, no, you shouldn't. No. But the story today is that we're heading towards parity. So €1 equals £1. Which is a sad state of affairs, really, considering where we were.
We better leave the European Union pretty quick then, hadn't we?
The thing that the Europeans will never get is our sense of irony, Stephen. And how hard we try to push it. People won't understand it.
According to xe.com,
yeah,
a pound is worth 1.08 euros.
Yep. Yeah.
So that's, just do not buy from an airline. The only good way to buy from an airline or an airport is to go onto I can't remember the name of the company, TravelX or something like that. You book online and pick up at the airport, and you usually get a decent rate then. But never buy currency in cash, for example, from an airport. It's crap.
Well, you're giving commission away, aren't you? You're giving money away. But obviously the exchange rate, I mean, the holiday season's nearly over, so majority of Brits have come back from abroad. But it obviously makes holidaying abroad more expensive, and it just makes our goods cheaper, doesn't it? So
yes. Haven't we had a boom in the tourist industry this year?
Yep.
Brexit.
Yep. More and more people coming over here to enjoy the delights of the UK. Right, now, Mrs. May is actually enjoying... I'm sorry. Well, I've been away. I'm trying to catch up. And I know... I mean, she's in Japan at the moment, isn't she?
I heard her for the first time in, 2 months since she bowled the election. I heard her for the first time this morning. And it just brought back all the memories of what a rubbish Prime Minister she is. It's just, and they say that she's safe as the Prime Minister for a couple of years. The only reason for that is there's nobody else to replace her. I mean, it's a horror show, but I have been following over the summer.
Yeah.
The Trump monstrosity that's going on across the pond, and I've got to stop. Because it's just so bad a fiction it's just, he is, I said it at the very beginning, he's a monster, and you must never normalise him. And luckily that hasn't, he hasn't been, well, he hasn't pressed the nuclear button yet, but he still has access to it, and apparently he's got unfettered access to it. So if he decides, he can just go press the button, and that's it. That's the scariest thing I've ever heard, because the man is a monster, and a baby monster at that. I mean, he went to
Houston.
Upton. Yeah. And it's a great crowd here today. Thank you very much for coming. You're a great crowd. What the? And he said, he tweeted in his own baby language, he tweeted, great to see it firsthand. No, not great. I've seen it firsthand, the disaster and the pain, the blah, blah, blah. He didn't get out the bloody car. Do you know what I'm saying? No. And I'm not American. I actually love going to America. But what the hell have they done? What the hell have they done?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. It's difficult to understand how anybody can support him after all the inaction. And it's just, as you said, it is effectively a monster. They're just ignoring him, aren't they? The people who actually do run the country are, to the best of their abilities, ignoring what he does.
I hope so.
Think so, John?
Well, you know, he's a clown. Nothing more to say. But then I don't think we're doing too well at home either with our leadership. So
no, I agree. We've got our own minute.
I just can't be done with this woman. Jacob Rees-Mogg. That's my answer.
Oh God, no! Christ, you want to go back to the 1500s?
Come on, you know I'm only winding you up, Mr. Stone.
Oh, no. You know, he's the brideshead revisited politician, isn't he? He's so rich. He's so upper class. He's so up himself. It's just, seriously? You know, is this where we are? Luckily, we got Jeremy Corbyn in full "I'm the real Prime Minister" mode, and it's just, you know, I sort of despair of what the Yanks did to themselves. But what the hell have we got ourselves into with this lot?
Come on, I mean,
it's all going so well.
No way I could see Corbyn running the country.
You could.
No, I can't. I hate what we've got now. Vince Cable, that's the real answer. Vince Cable for Prime Minister.
You remember when he was Trade Secretary about, what would it be, 6 years ago, something like that? Or a Business Secretary? I saw him at an event in London somewhere, and he was standing up talking about the way in which the UK is great at exporting, and he always banged on about a bicycle factory in Feltham or something, sending bikes to China. So he managed to find one piece of good news and bang on about all the bloody time.
Is that his fault, or is it our fault that there's only one piece of good trade news?
If you believe the other fox in the hole, he was saying that we're all businessmen some businessmen are just too bloody lazy and going play golf on a Friday afternoon. Liam Fox, who's currently the international trade something or other. We're well served, aren't we?
Ooh, excuse me, yawning. Yes. Well, okay, here's my final bid then. Winnie the Pooh for Prime Minister.
No, John, I don't think that's going to fly. No. Sorry, I'm just trying to type at the same time. Okay. Right, so Winnie the Pooh for Prime Minister, Mrs. May can go.
By the way.
Pardon? He did post the day before yesterday that how much better he was feeling.
Excellent.
And that this weekend he was going to try his bike out.
Good.
Good.
Although he posted a picture of him on a bike a few weeks back, it turned out that was an old picture, not him having gone out on the bike.
But he's recovering well, hopefully. I hope you are, Pete.
He's very cheerful. He keeps posting from curry houses and things.
Yeah, best wishes, Pete. I hope to see you around these parts pretty soon. Drew, Theresa May is about as effective as a chocolate fire guard. Well, that's probably true, so I can't argue with that. And
there is some
chocolate fire guard would be more use because you could eat that.
There is some breaking news. There's going to be a meeting in a couple of weeks' time in Wiltshire between the two Steves. Steves.
There is. There so is. Arranged while we're on different. I was in Europe, Stephen wasn't, and we arranged it, and we're going to get together and enjoy a coffee or a beer or later this month, later next month, soon.
Stephen with a PH, you're getting your passport done so that you can
get through passport control. I mean, it's an aside, but I think it's interesting. My Sue's just renewed a passport. Took about 5 minutes online to fill the form in. It wasn't a screen of joy, but we'll get there. And it took about a day to take the photo, because you can take the photo with your iPhone now or your Samsung stuff, and send it all online, and it was back within 5 days. So that, I think, is pretty bloody effective, and they should be doing a shout out for that.
And apparently they can use your photo off your driving license as well, if you want.
What, if you've already
got a picture driving license, then they can use, now suck that out of the DVLA and use that.
Good grief! I didn't see that option, but yeah, I take your point. It's finally end-to-end digital, and obviously the passport arrived in the post, and we sent the old one back. Which was returned, but it was so quick and so effective. Can't believe it.
You had to give your old passport back.
Yeah, you send that off. Yeah. They don't start processing your not your claim. They don't start processing your form until they've received your old one.
All right.
All right, now we come to the story which is the opposite end of the spectrum in terms of the government getting it right, and DVLC in particular. And that's a gentleman who'd lived in Colne, Lancashire, for all his life. And earlier this year took a driving test and was then told that not only was he not entitled to a driving licence, he was not entitled to a British passport and should go back to Australia.
He actually passed his test as well, and he did get his driving licence. He then got a letter telling him that it was being rescinded.
Right.
They've apologised to him though now, and he's because his grandmother is English. He has automatic right of abode.
I've just noticed Vixter's on, Vicky Rich. Hello, Vicky. Welcome. She's a friend of mine, guys, from the bad days. And hello, welcome on board, love.
What's she been doing to her nose? She's got a big dot on her nose.
It's that.
I know, it's that.
Is it Instagram or something?
My daughter's current picture has horns and funny glasses and a beard.
I don't like him, to be honest. It's just
sorry.
I think it's silly.
Yes, I couldn't believe it, Bert Stephen, that this lad who's been here his entire life was told to go to Australia. His MP jumped up and down, and suddenly, magically, they found that he was entitled to stay.
Well, it's just, I mean, what's happening is that we're catching the wrong people.
No. And have you seen the one about the orphaned lad who's got an offer for Oxford?
Uh-huh.
He's been told to leave the country as well. He came over here age 6 from an orphanage and was adopted. And because his adopted parents are not his real parents, he doesn't have any entitlement to stay. Are we fucking mad? Oh, excuse my language. Are we really mad? I just cannot believe what goes on.
I just need this delay between here and the broadcast, and a little button I can press, because I've got a button that if you carry on talking, John, I can mute you, and anything you say will not be heard by anybody, even us. I can bring you back. I can bring you back.
How did half the words slip out before I realised I was on it?
Yeah, I know. Easy done.
I just think it's just crazy, you know.
My second cousin, 3 times removed, is a young lad, 18-year-old, called Joe. He's currently living in Thailand with his dad, Rob is my third cousin, whatever. But he's just passed his baccalaureate stuff over in Thailand and looking to come to the UK to go to university. MNU and Durham and a few others had all given him conditional offers, and he then sort of tried to find out how much it would cost. And as an international student, even though he's got UK parents who've kept up his social security payments or whatever's necessary, he would have been charged £21,000 a year to go to a British university for a 3-year degree. He's decided to go to the University of Maastricht. He had to pass an additional maths exam, which he did with flying colours, and he has to pay €2,000 a year for, it might even, that might be just for his university fees, I don't know, but 10 times the difference.
Yeah.
Budget. It's about time we left that EU, I tell you. It's just,
it ain't whose fault, is it? It's our own fault for letting the government do it, even though they promised they wouldn't.
It's amazing. £1,000 a year. Oh well, happy days.
But the thing, there are hundreds and hundreds of Chinese and other students that do pay that every year.
Yep.
Spanish
and
are $1,000 a year.
there you
Scottish universities are free.
Indeed. Yeah.
Oh.
If you live in Scotland, you can't go to a Scottish university from the UK without paying fees. But if you lived in Scotland for at least 2 years, your university education has no charges.
A good reason to be Scottish.
I
said a good reason. I didn't say the reason.
You don't have to be Scottish, though, do you?
Sorry?
You don't have to be Scottish. You just have to live there, don't you?
That's right, yeah.
2 previous years, yeah.
There are some nice places in Scotland.
You've got to be a UK citizen as well. So you can't be Chinese, go there, live there for 2 years and get it for free.
No.
But a UK citizen who's had 2 years prior. So if you go up and do your A-levels in Edinburgh, you can then go on to a university at no. Well, I mean, there are costs associated, but no fees like we have in the UK of $9,500 a year.
God bless Vince Cable for that.
What's Vince Cable got to do with it?
He's part of the Liberal bunch who let the Tories get away with it.
Yes, I agree with that. I suppose that's correct.
Well, did I say Liberals then? Sorry, Liberal Democrats.
It's okay. We know who you mean. We know what you mean, and they will forever and a day regret making that promise. But I want to come on to something which was staying in Scotland for a second, and we're staying with Labour as well. Kezia Dugdale.
Oh well, she's not a happy lass, is she? Having been outed.
Indeed.
I don't. What's the story? Because I've seen that she's resigned as leader of the Scottish Labour Party. But is that good? Did she go willingly or?
It's all to do with her being outed as gay.
Yeah. What? It is.
She kept the fact she was gay out of her politics.
Yeah, she was outed last week.
Yeah.
And that's my whole point. I mean, we get a situation where we are a very liberal society in the true sense of the word, and we have a liberal approach to being gay. I don't want to pick out a turn here, but we do hold our politicians and a higher standard than we do ourselves. For us to be heterosexual or gay or lesbian or whatever doesn't matter, but for them, we seem to hold them to account for their sexuality.
Craziness. Crazy.
Yeah.
Because does that mean if you're gay, you can't be in the charge of the Scottish Labour Party?
No. It just means that your personal life will never be your personal life. And that's, I mean, this is it's the Christianity and sexuality are two subjects that the newspapers and the television stations never ever tire of. Yeah, I mean, the fortunate thing for Colin Jackson was when he came out last week was that he already knew. And he had the support of everybody he's broadcast with over the last 10, 20 years.
Yeah, Stephen, you're echoing and stuttering like mad. As in Stephen in Wiltshire.
I'll be back in a moment.
Put another Peter, mate.
Hello.
Just you, man. Just me and you. Hey, how's your networking going?
We sort of closed down, hasn't it, for the summer?
Okay. And you did B4B, BNIs, and what have you?
I don't do any of those. They're a waste of time unless you're selling stationery or, a fixed object. But they are, honestly. They're a waste of time unless you're...
Obviously, I'm not going to be as forthright as you, John, because I'm very much more politically aware.
What's politics to do with anything?
No, it's 4P. We've started a couple of networks up here, up in Stoke, and I went to one last night called Naked Networking.
Yeah, I've seen your...
what a team, though. A team.
Naked networking with your clothes on.
Yeah, I'm not naked, thank God. But we had a thing last night, and it was so different from the BNIs, the B4Bs, blah, 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 because we were just sort of sat around chatting. It's like going out for a drink, you know what I mean? With we had a marvellous lady doing a presentation about her book that's coming out soon, which I will obviously forget to publicise. What was it called?
Well, the two I go to are called Chutney and Chat,
yes,
and Coffee and Natter.
And how are they?
Chutney and Chat, as you can work out, takes place in an Indian restaurant and costs you 20 quid, basically.
Yeah.
And there's usually a speaker, you get food, you're on a table of around 8, so you get to interact with 8 people on a sort of personal basis. You can, if you want it, have a 1 minute stand up and say what you do and what you're looking for. If you want to, you don't have to.
Yeah.
Like you may be made to at other things. And that works quite well, although I haven't been to the last 2 because I've had other things on those 2 particular evenings that have been family oriented, shall we say. But Coffee and Natter is lunch times, and it's always at the same place. And it works well, but they're expanding them around the country now. So they've now got them in Shropshire, Derbyshire, and I think there's one opening up your way soon. So I'll keep you abreast of when that happens.
But last night, one of our, one of the ladies who came along is a lady called Charlie Beswick, and she has a couple of children, and she's got a book coming out in the next month called Our Altered Life, and it's about her story and the story of her children, one of whom is quite physically and mentally disabled. But it's her story about how she found out about the problems with her kids and how she's dealt with it. But the point that I wanted to make is that she came to our She came to the event last night, did a little bit of a presentation, but everybody who was there, or there was about 12 of us, I think, and we've all got different skills, from accountants, business apps, IT, a guy who sells bathrooms, but we were all sort of suggesting ways in which she could further promote her book. So how does she become an Amazon bestseller in that particular day of launch, or all those sorts of social media tricks and tips. And she took it all very well, very, very pleased. But it was just an indication that when you come to one of our events, it's not, I've got a lead, I've got this, that, and whatever. It's about how can we...
Give them a clap!
What?
That's what they do at Abbey, you know?
You did what?
That's what they do at Abbey, you know? When you give a lead, you get a clap.
Oh, yeah, okay. I'm sure that's very helpful. But there's that one, and then there's another one which has been going for quite a while. It's run by a good old mate of mine called Nigel Howell, and it's called Breakfast at the Brewery. Now up here we're quite well blessed with breweries across the region, but in Stoke we've got one which I particularly like called Titanic Breweries. And every month at 7 a.m. we go for breakfast at the brewery. But again, it's not about, I've got a lead and you must give me leads. It's about, oh, you do that? Oh, right, okay. Have you thought about that? Have you done this? And it's about chatting amongst and building relationships, because people always buy from people, whether you like it or not. The biggest organizations to the smallest ones, people buy from people. And in the true sense of, I like to think it's networking in its truest sense, which is building a relationship with people. Not for an overt sales pitch or anything like that, but just making mates. A bit like us, my dear people. So, just thought I'd mention that. And the other thing, I don't know if you're aware of, have you heard of Meetup?
Yep.
Yeah, well, Meetup's a worldwide thing, yeah.
Oh, is it worldwide? I didn't realise that. Because we've got about 3 or 4 in the Staffordshire area, a bit of Cheshire as well. But it's all about just chatting at the end of the day. Obviously, there's a speaker and you get good ideas. But I like them so much more than the foot. I don't know. It's not for me. And I don't like breakfast at that time.
Talks about the... am I echoing like mad? I can hear myself.
You are?
I'll come back in.
Okay. Fine. Yeah. I can hear an echo as well.
Is it me?
I don't think it's us. Just a minute. Right, so our first show back. John, are you back?
I'm back. Can you hear me? I can hear myself twice.
Is it me?
No.
Is it me?
Yeah, I can hear you twice as well.
Oh, good. Nazim.
Stephen.
We've got Nazim with us, hopefully. Good morning, Nazim. Hello, Antonio. Good to see you both. Can you hear us twice or just one? Good. Has it settled down yet? I can hear myself. I'll be back.
What's new with Be Live anyway, John? While the lead the body love.
Can you? Actually, I can still hear myself twice, even though Stephen's gone.
It's all you, mate. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, you're fine.
Good Stoke-on-Trent line.
You're pixelated, but you're fine.
Where's he gone?
I'm back, and Claire. I'd like to say hello to Claire. I can hear myself.
And we can hear you twice as well.
Do you think it might be me screwing it all up?
Well, we've tried everything else.
I'll be back. I'll bring it back.
I'd just like to say hello to Pete. Yeah, that's better. We're okay now. Well, we tried everybody, so...
What can I say other than Bloody Stoke-on-Trent people.
Yeah, go.
While he can't hear.
Say something, Stephen.
Hello.
Oh, I can hear
Right,
him.
okay. And say good morning to Pete. And I just want to say hello to Claire. Claire's commenting in LVS 17, and I do apologise for not replying to those comments, but I can't actually see them. So this is still a problem that for most broadcasters, in that we can see that I can see the comments that come through from everybody who's watching on the Blabbing for Britain page, and I can for people who commenting on my profile or on LVS 17. So my apologies for not bringing any comments on screen. I just can't see them. You asked a question.
I've just approved one of my friends joining Blabbing for Britain. So it
Excellent.
goes to what you just said about where is this thing actually available? It's on your Facebook stream, is it?
Well,
It's on. Sorry, John.
No, I was going to talk over the top of you, so you carry on.
It's available on the Blabbing for Britain page. If you search for Blabbing for Britain, you'll find us there. It's available on the LVS 17 group and my profile as well. And that's where we're at the moment. And John shared it out to where, John, this morning?
Not very many, because I only knew it was coming on at about 1 minute to 10.
Right, okay. Look, I did try and get the word out. I mean, that
was not you. That was me encased in another issue. So
okay, fine. Yeah, it's just I'm an hour ahead of you. I mean, it's 11:43 to me. That's why I was able to post so early. Yeah, I'm still in Germany. I've got ferry lag, and the hour time difference is still there. Still waking up too early, and as I say, it's now 11:44 in Schutthof in Germany, and that was quite a.
You're not there anymore. You're there in spirit.
I'm still travelling. I can. The ferry journey back last night was, can we say, rocky? It was turbulent is probably the right word. And this work, and then you come off the ferry. We go from Harwich to the Hook of Holland, and then we come back from the Hook of Holland back to Harwich, and then you go. Theoretically, it's easy. You come out of the port, you go on the A120, the A12, M25, M4, Doddle. Yep. Except when they close the A20, right outside the port, and send you on a diversion which goes through Harwich. Anyway, you're on the A120, and then you get towards you can touch the A12, but the road's closed. So you've got to come off the A120 again, go through Colchester. Have you ever been to Colchester? Nice place, but in the dark, when you've been on the road for quite a while, it's good fun to get back on the A12, which we did eventually. And then there's this guy doing 50 sat in the middle lane. And I thought, I'm not going to undertake him, because if I do, one of these bloody cameras will clock it, and then that's it. So I'm sat, and he just attracted, it was like a bunch of bees going to a hive. All these cars swarmed around him, overtook me, undercut him. Oh, it was just a Horlicks. And then the M25, I can say, when they say it's a car park, well, it literally was last night, because there were roadworks anyway, I'm back. But I am an hour ahead, and to me it is 11:46. Back to BeLive.tv. There have been no changes whilst I've been away. I've got a message to contact Daniel in a moment after we've finished here. But the thing that was announced yesterday in relation to BeLive.tv is that Maury Smith, when I can show it, Maury Smith has a new training session on BeLive.tv, hosted by BeLive.tv, because she's a brand ambassador for BeLive.tv. I think I've mentioned it enough now. On BeLive.tv for the next 4 weeks is a free course, and if you are interested in the course, then pop along to this link, which hopefully I'll copy correctly, and you'll be able to join in Maury's course, well, of which of course brings us back to Scotland. Because Maury, despite being internationally known, is actually Scottish. How's that for a sec? Bring things around the link.
I've never heard of Maury Smith, so
Stephen?
not that. I said, I've never heard of her, so she's not that internationally known. Have you heard of Mari Smith, Stephen from Stoke?
No. I've heard of Stephen Healey because he's an international award winner for streaming. Have we mentioned that? In fact, in Europe.
His course must be better than Mari Smith course any day.
Morris Smith is concentrates on marketing, so I'm actually going to go on her course. There you go. I could probably come up with a list of names that you've never heard. Joel Comm.
Well, yeah, we've all heard of Joel Comm.
Right, okay. For next week, I'm going to bring a list of names that you've never heard of, and then we'll discover who they are. How's that? I've got this idea for a program. Okay. I didn't do a live whilst I was away, but I did have one or two ideas. And it's a new program, and it will be on BeAlive.tv, provided you don't think it's too daft. Okay. Now, the shows we've been doing up to now have been how-to shows. In other words, how to broadcast and the technical side of it. The next series of shows will be more around what you should be doing when you're actually broadcasting. Yeah. And I've come up with this idea for a show, which you're going to love. It's just a stunning idea. The show title is Who's in Your Attic? Now, how does that grab you? Okay, I need to explain, don't I? The basic idea is that you have an attic and which you've invited a famous guest to stay. And you have to give clues as to who that guest is throughout the broadcast.
Sounds very Radio 4 to me.
It sounds very BBC 2, and Billy thinks it sounds creepy.
I don't, if you want to, thanks, Billy. Morning, Billy. Right, okay. I also need to work on it, but I did have this other one, which was called "What's My Line?" But I think somebody's done that before.
Yeah.
I see that Jeff is canning BeLive as his BeLive's show.
BeLive Weekly, Monday nights. The final show is on the 18th of September. The end of BeLive Weekly. And it's sad, really, because he is, even at this stage, Jeff Adams is BeLive.tv. Okay, and Claire suggests now do Through the Keyhole. That's not a bad idea. I'll think of that.
Taken, come on.
Okay, it's been taken. All right, okay. Now, Jeff Adams is a star. He is a true broadcasting star. I mean, he's professional. And I've learned such a lot over the last 12 months, 7 of which I was working with him. But he was on a contract. So I'm going to corpse now because of this.
What are you doing?
Who's under the patio?
Oh dear.
And take.
Oh dear. Soap memories, eh? Soap memories. The best of British TV. That's what I missed whilst I was away. British TV. I did the most intensive 2-week German learning course you could ever have.
What, watching German TV? Yeah,
watching German TV. Yeah.
Oh dear me. Yeah. Well, that's completely ruined everything, man.
Thanks, Billy.
I've completely lost my thread totally. When I started talking double, I was going to pick up on the you said about the lady and her children, and one of them was had some sort of difficulties.
Yes.
Did you see the programme Ambulance on the BBC?
Never watched those sorts of things.
No, well, it was actually about West Midlands Ambulance, and it just about touches Stoke. They get up as far as Stafford, apparently. And to put it short, the ambulance crew, 2 ladies, both called Natalie, by the way, were called out to a lady in difficulties in labour, giving birth. And the one older of the 2 Natalies was quite excited because she was never been to a birth before in her 4.5 years as an ambulance lady. And she went there and she basically ran the whole thing and expressed her concerns. They didn't have the time to get to the hospital, so they had to do the birth there. And she was talking us through about everything that happens and about how there's a dip in the birth canal and how you've got to get the lady to force the baby over the dip in the birth canal, or else you end up with oxygen starvation. And the baby in there, and she talks all the way through this. Only afterwards that they told you that she had a 15-year-old daughter who herself had got stuck in the birth canal and now was totally disabled and could only be fed by tube. And it was extremely moving.
Can't do those. Too difficult. It's like the Remembrance Sunday stuff and the Albert Hall Festival of Remembrance. Too close. Don't like that.
I just thought this lady was really brave, having gone through the situation herself and then just got on with it and got the job done. And now I'm echoing mad.
What?
Can you hear me echoing?
Yeah, we can hear you. A bit of interference, but we can hear you.
I can hear you fine, John.
Yeah.
I can hear myself twice.
Well, twice?
Second time about a half a second behind the first.
For the final time today, would you like to refresh?
Pardon?
Would you like to refresh? Right, okay, so John's going to refresh. I've still got myself. I can hear myself again. Oh.
You're talking to me live later, are you?
Sorry, Stephen. Can you say that again, please?
You're talking to Be Live very soon, are you?
Yeah, I've got a message to have a chat with Daniel. So find out what's going on. Yeah, I've been welcomed home, and thank you, Antonio, for the welcome. And it's good to be back. This has been our first show back. This is Blabbing episode 89, and episode 90 will be next week without any technical hitches. Fingers crossed. Oh, right. Have we any stories to take us out on? And Stephen?
Are you talking about our goodbyes and calls to action? All I would is to go onto Amazon, look for Charlie Beswick and her book, which is coming out very soon. It's called Our Altered Life. It is a cracking read. It's a moving story of her life through her two gorgeous kids. So just drop on and have a look around. And that's me.
We'll do that. John,
my only wish at the moment is, could there just be one of me talking at the time? I think it's actually Stoke's fault because I can hear you twice as well, Stephen from Wiltshire. And when Stoke went away last time, we both could hear each other perfectly.
You always get double value from Stoke.
Oh yeah, you're like the nice ice cream, are you? With two flakes.
No, as I said before, it's the palm trees, the 90 degrees, sunny, and the beach itself is just wonderful outside my window.
I'm now showing a frame with the beach ball and a coconut and a palm tree. And you see, I knew, Sixth Sense told me that we should end on a holiday theme. I'll switch it off again. To Claire, we've tried everything. This is not us. It's a technical problem somewhere between Be Live and Facebook and WebRTC. Billy, thank you for the welcome back. It is good to be back. We'll be returning as well next week. I'm off to work out what shows I can do in September, and Who's Under the Patio is right up there, and we'll see what happens. Through the Keyhole's possibility. Who knows what could happen?
That sounds like surgery through the keyhole.
That was a class program with its original.
Still on these days. Except it's
Bring back,
these days.
bring back Bullseye.
Oh,
You can't beat a...
It's a bully.
Indeed.
Unfortunately,
We can't.
poor old Jim on the telly last week. He doesn't look too good these days.
Oh dear. But we need a catchphrase. I'll leave you with that thought. Everybody's watching. John, would you like to sign us out?
Oh, yeah. It's doubly goodbye from me and doubly goodbye from Wiltshire, but only singularly goodbye from Stoke-on-Trent. So it's goodbye from me, it's goodbye from him, and it's goodbye from him. See you on number 90. Bye.
Yep. See you next week. Bye, everybody. And we're on a countdown and counting out.